write a love song. She's the perfect symphony, makes it easy for me to write a love song. I could go on and on. She makes me wanna write a love song. I've got to admit, I talk about her all the time. I hope you don't mind. She makes me feel brand new. Well, everything that we do, we have something so fun. She makes me want to ride home. I'm so proud to call her my own. She's my grand inspiration, my valid confirmation to write a love song. She's the perfect symphony that makes it easy for me to write a love song. I could go on and on. She makes me want to write a love song. Ooh. She makes me want to write a love song. Ooh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Makes me want to write a love song. Makes me, she's my grand inspiration, my valid confirmation to write a love song. She's the perfect symphony that makes it easy for me to write a love song. I could go on and on and on and on. She makes me want to write a love song. She's my grand inspiration, my valid confirmation to write a love song. She's the perfect symphony that makes it easy for me to write a love song. I could go on and on. She makes me want to write a love song.
It's Sean here with the OakA, and today we got another episode of The Punch In. Here with a special guest, Calvin Loron. How you doing, bro?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing good. You came here from Okmulgee today. How was the drive?
It was pretty good, pretty smooth.
Yeah. Speaking of Okmulgee, let's get into growing up.
Mm-hmm.
You were born and raised in Okmulgee?
Well, I was born in Tulsa, but
Okay.
raised in Okmulgee. Yeah.
And Okmulgee is basically like kind of like Tulsa.
Yeah,
It's basically Tulsa area. Is
Yeah.
it any difference as far as like cultural or is it kind of like a small town vibe compared to Tulsa or what?
Yeah, it's more of a small town vibe, but it kind of culturally, it's all about the same. It's like all in the same area.
Yeah.
Northeastern Oklahoma. And
You drive 5 miles and you're in Tulsa type
right.
thing?
30-minute, 40-minute drive, you're
Yeah.
there.
For sure. So how long you been doing music for now?
I'm going to say it's been a while, 13 years.
13 years.
Started around 15 years old when I started writing my own original music, and I started taking it seriously about 8 years ago, around 20 years old. That's when I realized, like, I wanted to do this, forever, like, for the rest of my life. And
Yeah.
that's when I really stepped it up, started trying to get, like, original productions, like, working with producers, making things from scratch instead of, like, just buying the beats and things like that. Because the way my style is, it required, to start reaching out to producers and make things from scratch, taking lyrics, melodies, and going from there. And yeah, it's been a journey, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So you said about 15, so probably about, like sophomore year of high school?
Yeah.
So what inspired, have you come from music background or mom, pops, anyone singing in your family already?
Yeah, my mom actually went to music school at Northeastern State University in Tahlequah, and I believe I have some family members, I can't name them off exactly, but that did music, when they were younger. And I believe my grandfather was, on my dad's side, was in a music group, like a gospel music group. So it's in there, it's in my blood, but, like, no one really, did it, like, at the age I am, like, really trying to, like, take it to that next level. But, yeah, it's in there, though.
Yeah, for sure. So you told me some of your inspirations, James Brown and Sam Cooke. What you could see the the vibes and the spirit in the music, but what draws you to those two specifically?
It's just a sound, like, it's so different, especially back in that era. They were kind of like, the pioneers or trendsetters that paved the way for artists like me now, and you can hear that in I love that kind of music around like 5 or 6, and when I started listening to James Brown and Motown, Marvin Gaye, Temptations, all that, Sam Cooke, it just I fell in love with that sound because it's timeless. And,
Yeah.
and when I heard all of that, I was like, I want to do something like that too. I want to make my sound similar to that, and that's when I started writing, like how I was saying earlier, like 15, whatever. Like a lot of my earlier stuff, it sounded a little bit more poppy, but like as the years went on, when I started doing my own original productions and things like that, I always remember I want to have that retro kind of sound. So that's
Yeah.
what I did, because like the lyrics, the music arrangements, it's just you can't beat it.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
just I love it.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Personally, I feel like I want to know your thoughts because you are like a soul artist, and I've always felt personally like R&B and soul are they're like in the same, but they're different.
Yeah.
Like they're like Stevie Wonder to me has always been a soul artist,
Right.
but Usher is not a soul artist. He's an R&B
R&B,
artist.
right.
So
Yeah, you're
what are your
right about
thoughts?
you're right about that. It's like all in. It's kind of like it's part of the same tree. Like to put it that way, like it's part of the same tree, but there's like different branches of it. Cause like there is a difference. Because like soul, it's more. How do I put it? Like more like instruments and
Yeah.
like more vocals. Like it's like kind of. I don't want to say like it's more, like it's fuller or whatever. Like
Yeah.
but like R&B, it has more of like that, kind of like more of a pop kind of thing
Yeah.
blended in there.
And even like I feel like soul is more like inspired by like
Right.
old school, maybe like jazz,
Yeah.
and like stuff like that. And
Yeah.
R&B is more like sensual, if that's a better word for R&B.
Right.
So I've always thought that. I know they're technically categorized as the same.
Yeah, but there is like a different little sound. Like
Yeah.
the main like recipe is the same. Like it comes off from the same thing.
Yeah.
Like but like there's like like sub genres, like things like change up a little. So it is different, but they do kind of sound different. But
Like at the base, they're the
yeah.
same. But they
Right.
kind of have their own like,
Right.
separation.
Yeah,
like
it's
you
kind of
said.
like I'm trying to think of some genres like they're kind of like similar to that, where it's like it's kind of the same, but then it like kind of changes up a little.
Maybe like you could use hip hop as an example because there's maybe like boom bap versus today's hip hop. Like their origins the same,
Right.
but it's like different sounds and the beats are different and stuff like that.
Right.
So that could be a good example.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I remember one time I have a close friend and she always argues with me. I'm like, Stevie Wonder is not an R&B artist to me. Because I'll drop my top 5 R&B artists and he's not in there, but he's one of the greatest artists of all
Yeah,
time.
exactly,
And he's
like-
one of the top 2, top 3 soul artists ever, like no competition.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's an R&B artist. It's
I
just
don't
different.
either. Like it is different. Like Stevie Wonder, when you think of R&B, you think of Boys to Men, New Edition,
Yeah.
Usher,
Yes.
R. Kelly,
Yeah,
like
Jagged Edge, stuff like that.
There is a difference. Like it comes from the same roots, but that sound, it does change up, because R&B is more like the digital kind of, like they use like real instruments too and all that, but it's just that sound. Like Stevie Wonder, he's gonna pull out the harmonica,
Yeah.
like that. He's gonna have the band behind him, like the horns and things like that. Like there is a different sound. You're right about that.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so my first time hearing about you was come through Tulsa. Like this is the first time I saw you, and I was automatically like, "Oh, this is dope."
Thanks, appreciate it.
It's a little bit of a different sound that from what you like. There is this is what I'll say. You have a very I could tell you were from the Tulsa area when I heard you.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's because Tulsa, to me, even their rap scene is a little bit more funky than Oklahoma City or than the rest of Oklahoma.
Nice.
Like a Steph Simon, he's still incorporating the band and he's still
Yeah,
incorporating those elements.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or even trap artists like Phil Sosa, he still uses a lot of old school samples and stuff like that. So
Yeah, that is true. I believe they had Charlie Wilson, Fire in Little Africa. Yeah, they had yeah, that's true, because like it kind of have like that little retro sound to it.
yeah. So I could tell you're from Tulsa, but like I said, that was the first time I heard about you was King Spencer.
Mm-hmm.
So back to that, how was working with King Spence? Because he's a very Tulsa guy.
Yeah, it was great. I've worked with him like a couple of times. Like first, I did the backdrop videos at the Come Through Tulsa studio, which was great. I loved it, and then our second time working, it was downtown on Greenwood Street. I did a video for Do You Have Soul, and like it was actually we were like trying to figure out like where can we shoot this at, like, and then we're like maybe somewhere downtown, and then like we both came up like like with Greenwood. I think he like brought up like that could be a good area. I was like, yeah, let's try that out, and like the area's like perfect because like the history around there, and the Gap Band, all that kind of stuff, and the kind of style I had, it was perfect. That was a great idea about him, and so we like just shot a quick video of me just dancing around and whatnot.
And that was the one you were kind of like by the street sign and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, that was really fun. I like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of took me out my shell too because like I'm more of like an introverted kind of guy, so like doing stuff like that is like kind of new to me, and just getting out there and dancing around and lip syncing all that was a good time.
Okay, so talk about that then. You mentioned you're an introverted guy.
Mm-hmm.
In this space, it's kind of there's people that do it. Like Summer Walker, she's an introvert, and you can see that she doesn't. She's like antisocial.
Right.
So people do make it big with that style, like with that personality. But how is it for you? Because there's things you can't. You have to go on stage. You have to perform in front of people.
Definitely.
You have to be active on the internet and put your art out to the world and be able to get critiqued. So how is that for you being an introvert?
Honestly, at times like it is kind of tough because like I'm used to like being like the antisocial, like the wallflower kind of thing where I'm not, you won't see me for a while. Let's put it that way. Like I can go into undercover, MIA for a while. So yeah, it is a little different. Like the videos I'm talking about, where you have to just really get out of your shell, and do what you have to do, because if you want to make it in this business, in the music industry, like I'm not saying you have to be like this extrovert, like just really talkative and whatever, but you have to at least, make videos, content, perform on stage, which I do, for a while. Like I had, like, I don't want to say stage fright, but like the confidence, you have to like build that up, like when you're used to being alone, and like not really doing that kind of stuff. And then you jump into this new world where you had to like enter this scene where you're on stage and people are looking at you, critiquing you, like it's a lot different. But once you get used to it, like it's second nature.
Yeah.
Because if you're like a natural talent, a natural performer, like I don't think it really matters if you're introverted or extroverted. Like once you hit that stage, you're a performer, you're a musician, a singer.
Like that's your element. That's
like you feel at home when you get on that stage, and especially when people are really like feeling it and really enjoying it and walking up to you, telling you like, "Hey, that was a great performance." All that, that really skyrockets your confidence, and it just makes you want to get out there even more.
Yeah, for sure. Another person that I've noticed you work with is Future. So you drive to Lawton to record music?
Yeah, I go
all
there.
Your music?
Yeah, all of my music pretty much now. In the past, like I've been to different producers, but now Future is pretty much like my, my executive, like when I executive, but exclusive producer. Like I go there all the time. Anytime, pretty much when I have anything like lyrics or whatnot, if I want to do a collab with someone, I go to Future because the sound that I like, that I want, like he has it. He could do it. He could do a lot of stuff. He does country, R&B, rap.
Yeah, he's very talented.
Yeah, he is. And like I remember,
He's a fast worker.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, like I could be there for like 4 or 5 hours, and I'll have a song ready, mixed, mastered, vocals, all of that is all ready when I leave the studio.
Yeah.
And like I remember when I was telling him what the sound I was looking for, because I started going there when I just had beats and whatnot, and I would just record vocals, and I was telling him like, yeah, I would like to like have like more of like a retro soul, doo-wop kind of stuff. And he's like, man, I could do that. He said, I do custom beats and all that too. And I started doing that. I'm like, man, you can't beat this.
No,
like
you can't.
It's great.
Yeah, he's been the guy for a long time. I'm from Lawton.
Oh.
So yeah, I've worked with him before. We've done like we had him at some of our events in Oklahoma City.
Right.
And super dope, super fast, great quality. It's honestly is in the quality for the price. You can't beat that.
Yeah, you cannot, man. I tell people about Future all the time. I even had like a few people hit me up on Instagram when I was running ads and whatnot for a Ride a Love song, and they're like, "Man, where did you make that at? Like, who made that?" And I was like, "Future and Lawton." And I actually got one guy from Arkansas. His name is Nelson Vaughn. Like, he actually drove all the way from Arkansas to Lawton to like record because like I just really convinced him that that's the place to go because the sound, the price, you can't beat it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
people-
dope. So switching the topic a little bit. Still music. You're in a genre that it's not dying. I don't think that's the right word because it's still alive.
Right.
But it's not when it comes to like black music, like black culture music. It's not really the forefront in the mainstream anymore. It's hip
it's
hop.
not.
Hip hop is the
Definitely.
Every time someone thinks of a black artist, they think hip hop.
Right. There's been so many times where I tell someone I do music, it's like, oh, what kind of rap do you do? Like, I sing.
Yeah. So how being the artist you are in a space that is maybe more underground is a good word for it. How are you like how do you operate that?
Sometimes it can be like challenging, I guess, trying to like, like book things around, like different concerts, like more so for like rap or R&B or whatever, like, cause like it's so different, cause like the stuff I make, it's like more soul, like how we were talking about earlier, like that difference. So like, yeah, like, but the thing is, like it can be challenging, like the book shows or whatever, but it's different, and that sets me apart.
Yeah, for sure.
It really sets me apart, and so like the way I figured how to do things now, like we do covers and we'll mix in my originals at these different restaurants and in different like festivals like that do like rock or country and things like that. Like I think the reason why I get booked for those is because like there's not many people doing like soul music, funk music kind of stuff, like someone around my age.
Yeah.
Like most people my age, like they'll expect them like to do hip hop, rap or like modern R&B kind of things, but I think that's what helps me, like it sets me apart. So there are challenges, but it's also an advantage too,
Yeah, for sure.
Like it helps, because like it's so different. It makes people turn their heads and look at you like, what is this? Like this is a lot different. Like who's this guy singing like this doo-wop Motown kind of thing? Like at what? It's just different.
Yeah, for sure. Is there any like? I know you said that you do maybe like hard to get in book, but what do you think the reception is from like the internet, from people, your fans, from people that do hear you? How do you think the reception is?
It's great.
Yeah.
It's really great because like when I run these ads, whatever, like I get people from like all different genres, like rap, rock, like was it metal? There's a whole bunch of some, like soul, just like me, R&B, just a whole bunch of different people like from all these different genres all like message me or leave comments, and just also like, fans, listeners, like they love it, At first I didn't know if people would even like it, because it's so old sounding, like different. So like I was unsure about that, but once I started, like performing more and running ads or whatever, like people liked it.
Yeah.
And like they mentioned like the vocals and the music is just different and they like it.
Yeah, that it is a thing though. Like especially with something like music, trends always come back around. So like, I think people are slowly. I think, in my personal opinion, I think that like the older the soul music, more lyrical stuff. When it comes to hip hop, I think that's making its way back around.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
like the hard knocking beats and stuff were cool for a while, but everything has its time and then it goes back.
Right.
So I think that cycle's coming back around where people want to feel more emotion. They
Yeah.
want to feel more. They want to hear more stories and stuff.
Yeah,
like
that's funny that you mention that because like a few comments I've gotten, like they'll say, yeah, we need more music like this, like something like with a positive message, like just something different than what we're used to, like, not trying to knock the newer music because there are great artists out there, like from any era, like
Yeah, for sure.
so like how you're saying like a more like an underground kind of thing, but yeah, it's like you can't beat that sound and people like it, and And a lot of people that don't even know if they like it or not, like that I've noticed, like they will say, yeah, like I'm not really into this kind of music, but I actually like your kind of sound. Like
Yeah.
people have told me that because like I was saying earlier, like all these different genres, like you should stay in their own space, and listen to their own stuff. But my music somehow that I thought might sound too old or like a little outdated or just too different actually reaches people from everywhere.
Yeah, for sure. Um, then let's getting into some newer stuff. You just I saw you just released really kind of re-released because it was introducing Calvin Loron and then you re-released it as Calvin Loron EP.
Right.
But you added a couple songs. So what was the thought process behind kind of re-releasing that?
Yeah, so the thought process behind that is just like, to like get more views on it, like get more attention on it. Because like I added these two new songs and then I'm like, I should add, the other songs again so people can, just be reminded about the older releases because to a lot of people it's still new.
Yeah.
Like when you're like me, just an independent artist, like everyone doesn't know about me. Most people don't know about me. So I thought, hey, it might be a good idea, just to re-release it. And also some of those old releases like were kind of like the original releases because like Future, like we had done some of these projects and I released it through like this publisher. So like there were some kind of changes. So I released like the original songs, like if you will, like the original mixes and whatnot. So like it's pretty much all the same, but the main focus was just trying to like get it out there again.
Yeah.
Like to remind the old fans and also so the new fans can like just see like, oh, there's a new release, yada yada, and they'll go click on it and to see like my older stuff like 2 or 3 years ago but to them like that's a new listen.
Yeah, I think that goes over a lot of people's rappers, like artists in general, their heads sometimes. It's like, yeah, you posted that post, you made that, you dropped that song, but it's like, just post it again, just drop it
Right.
again. Everyone didn't hear it.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
who cares? If someone hears it twice, that's even better. So just go run with it again. Like, stop being scared to promote your stuff.
Right.
Stop being scared
'Cause,
to
like,
put your stuff out.
Dude, because like it takes a while for a song to even go, viral or whatever. Like you hear about these stories about artists, like they promote a song for like 2 or 3 years before it really catches fire. Like I've noticed, like on social media, TikTok, even the radio's still kind of popular. Like where it might be a song from someone like 5 or 6 years ago, but it's just now, really taking off especially because of TikTok. TikTok makes a lot of older songs like really resurface and
Yeah.
so it's always good, to keep on promoting your stuff, especially if it's like a really good song and people liked it.
Yeah.
And it's been a couple of years, like, you should like go back and do that again because like those people, they may have forgotten or, new people need to hear it too. So you shouldn't like just give up on a song.
Yeah.
Like you should like keep pushing it.
For sure. And then, lastly, what's new? I know before we were talking a little bit before this started, you're talking about trying to work on a tour, maybe a tour. So
Yeah.
what's new?
Yeah, so what's new now? Like I'm working on trying to get a tour set up maybe in the southeast region, maybe south to like New Orleans, Dallas. Like I'm trying to switch it up a little because like mainly like we've been doing of
I don't
course,
mean to
here,
cut you off
Oklahoma.
when you say we. Who's we?
Yeah, like my band.
Okay.
Like my music friends, like they were nice enough to play with me, like my originals and whatnot.
Yeah.
I guess we're not really officially a band, but like that's what we mainly do. Like we do a lot of cover songs, gigs, with the originals in there. Like I was saying, like festivals and whatnot. Like we just go around Tulsa, the Oklahoma region, and we'll play around there. And sometimes I'll go to Missouri, St. Louis, Kansas City,
Yeah.
things like that, Kansas. So like that's what we've been doing like lately. So I'm trying to like switch it up and try to get some gigs like around like the Texas area, just everywhere. I would like to go everywhere, honestly,
Yeah.
like all over the world. But like that's what my main focus is now: releasing more music, which I'm working on. I just need to get back to Future's recording studio and make some more stuff, and focusing on like running more ads, things like that, and trying to perform more. Pretty much like 3 basic things, but like it's a lot of work you have to like put into it for it to actually like like see the results and things like that. So that's what I'm working on.
For sure. Well, that's dope, bro. Anything else you want to plug to the listeners? Anything?
Yeah. Well, I
Tell them
guess
where they could find you. All
yeah.
that.
You can find me on all social media. My website, Calvin Loron, CalvinLoron. You can look up on there and see what I'm going to be performing at next, and see what my new releases are, and just see what I'm doing.
For sure.
Yeah.